in Malawi, like in many parts of Africa, soccer is like the main sporting event, and so I decided to help out by donating to the school, and the school is called Mchombo Primary School, and I donated to Mchombo Primary School 2 soccer balls. After that, they appealed to me for more equipment, and then that's when I felt that perhaps the best way to be of service to that community was not to simply respond to one request after another, but rather to engage the youth in activities which would be of good to the community, and use the equipment, soccer balls or soccer jerseys or whatever else, as a way of giving them the encouragement, as a way of as it were cheering them for what they are doing. So that way they didn't have to assume that they would get material just because they asked for it, just because they happen to have a local person who happens to be a resident in the United States. And it was that image that I wanted to get. I started off in Nkhotakota with 2 teams. They were spread over about 50 kilometers. One was based around the Mchombo Primary School area, and the other one was based at a school called Liwaladzi, which was near Dwangwa, where they have a sugar corporation. And the 2 teams that started, were started, one was called Kapanga Blades, and that was the one that was based at Mchombo, and the other one was called Chalunda Chizito Chiefs, and that's the one that was based at Liwaladzi. Those were the original teams, and in fact the choice of the locations was that the Kapanga Blades was based in my home area. Chalunda Chizito Chiefs, that team was based in the area where my aunt, my mother's youngest sister, and her husband, Mr. Bai and Mrs. Bai, were based, and she works as a nurse at the local Liwaladzi clinic run by the Anglican Diocese in the area. So I had those 2 teams in those locations. And then I received some donation from the University of California women's soccer program of jerseys and soccer balls that they were no longer using. So when I took those back, I had 2 more teams. All right, one was Yamikan Eagles, which was going to be like the friendly rival to Kapanga Blades in my home area at Mchombo, and the other one was Ngombe Chargers, which was going to be the rival to Chalunda Chizito Chiefs at Liwaladzi. And then to try and get more youth to participate, I figured that perhaps some kind of administrative structure and a kind of a village league would be the way to facilitate getting more people to join. Right. Then that way assistance could be channeled through that village league, and that's what was called the Mtaya Football League. And so the idea was to say, okay, the condition that was stated was the league was going to be open. It was a village league, everyone, there was no registration, no registration costs, but the requirement was that teams that wanted to participate must be prepared and committed to contribute to ongoing efforts in community service in their respective areas. That way, helping the elderly, the grandmothers, helping in the maintenance of their place of worship, helping in the maintenance of their local healthcare facilities, and being of service to the community, and that any assistance I would get, to bring there, would be geared towards those teams that didn't have anything but which were participating. So you have a rotation of sorts. This time you help, these teams, the next time you help other teams, etc. And that was sort of, the